picture that's on the right, correlates to the list of postures on the left, and we will actually feel those within our body now. Let's go ahead and talk about tips for safe postures really quick. Practicing barefoot is really helpful because your yoga mat tends to have more grip on it if you're barefoot. So it's just safety first. Sorry about that, I got muted. Practicing barefoot is really helpful because sometimes we get sweaty on our yoga mat, so just having that grip on the ground is really good for safety. There's also props for assistance. Once I get on the camera again, I'll show you what yoga blocks look like, what yoga straps look like. You could always use pillows, bolsters, and then things like a chair can also assist you, which I'll give options for in just a little bit. Make sure that you start slow and gentle with your classes, not trying to jump into your hot yoga, jump into those really power yoga classes. Being really mindful of starting gentle will help you overall. Always inform the instructor beforehand if you have any injuries or health condition. This is really important. Specifically, I'll speak as an instructor. It's important for me to know when my clients have anything so that I can help you enjoy your yoga class. For example, if there's a knee injury or a back injury or things like that, when I see my students moving on their mat, I can better understand how to adjust the poses for them. So you can get the most out of your practice. Also with health conditions, really important, specifically, for example, pregnancy, it's really important that your instructor knows these things. Maintain slow, deep breathing and don't rush into any postures. Yoga is all about staying calm, cool, and relaxed, so not rushing into anything. And my main point for yoga is always listen to your body and stay present in the moment. So let's go ahead and hop into our practice. Hopefully that was a nice overall introduction to what yoga is. Let's actually feel it in our bodies now. So we're going to get started in child's pose, which is one of the main postures. If you would like to pin me so that you can see me bigger, I'm going to go ahead and pin myself. So pin my video on your screen so we can get started. All right, so child's pose, you're going to bring your knees out wide. You're going to take your hips down and back and walk your hands forward. As you settle here, start to bring your heart space a little closer to the ground. Let your forehead come down or maybe your chin. And as you're here, if you notice that your hips don't come too far back, don't worry about it. Over time, as you relax your body, you'll be able to sink a little bit more within your poses. As you're here, begin to breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. Starting to find a sensation within your body. So noticing maybe how your shoulders feel as you spread them apart, how your hips feel. Maybe even gently understanding and noticing how your breath is moving. Have you been shallow breathing all day? Can you grow a little bit longer within your inhales and exhales? And we'll be here for just a few more moments. Notice if your mind is trying to rush somewhere or if you have any resistance within the body. The key to your yoga practice is always coming back to the breath. Inhales and exhales nice and steady. Take about 3 more big deep breaths. Try to make them the biggest breaths of your day. With each exhale, let your heart sink a little bit closer to the ground, opening up through the chest. 1 more big breath in.
That's dropped enough.
And a long breath out.
When she's breathing.
Good. Start to come into tabletop. Please mute yourselves. Please mute yourselves. Come into tabletop, hands under your shoulders, knees under your hips. We're going to go ahead and take something called cat-cow. So this is matching breath and movement. It's a really nice way to mobilize the spine. As you inhale, drop your belly and look forward. As you exhale, round your back, push away from the mat, and curve through the spine. Inhale, belly drops, look forward. And exhale, round everything away. So cat-cow is a nice way to mobilize the spine. Again, if you've been sitting all day, maybe at your desk, this is just a nice way to start getting that mobility to different areas. And as you match one breath with one movement, your body and your mind start to come together and you start to relax. Take about 3 to 4 more at your own pace, and you can always get funky with this. Yoga is not rigid. You could always bring your hips into it. You can let your head go through the center. Keep moving and keep flowing. Last one here, inhale, belly drops, look forward. And as you exhale, round everything away. Really great job. Go ahead and tuck your toes. We're going to take something called downward facing dog. So you tuck your toes, you lift your hips up and back, and you lift your tailbone up to the sky. Push evenly through the hands. If you notice that you can't really get here too far, you can always stay down on your knees and try to push your hips up and back in that position. For those of you who are here, start to pedal your feet out. So drop one ankle at a time, exploring that lower half of the body. So how do your hips feel, your hamstrings? Keep pushing through and pedaling through the heel. So you can start to open up that back side of the body. Take a few more moments here. All of your fingertips, excuse me, are facing the front of the mat or the front of the area where you're at. Go ahead and start to settle through the center. Take a big deep breath in, fill the belly. And as you exhale, start to look your way forward, and we're going to step our way to the top of the mat. So baby steps or wide steps, however you want to get there. Go ahead and find your forward fold. This is a beginner friendly one, but there's a lot of modifications. So these are the yoga blocks I was mentioning at the beginning. You can always take yoga blocks or even a stack of books or anything like that. Trick to your forward fold is that you bend your knees. The more that you bend your knees, the more you're going to ease into that low back. So go ahead and bend and let that upper body hang really heavy. Check in on your neck. See if you can let your head go, shaking your head. Yes. Shaking your head. No, thank you. Cervical part of the neck, of the spine. Upper body hangs really heavy. You can start to reach for opposite elbows, maybe ragdoll this one out by swaying side to side. Again, slight bend in the knees, starting to feel that stretch in the back body. Take a few more breaths here. Remembering that your yoga practice is all about connecting mind and body. So how can you slow down the thoughts? By bringing your awareness to the present moment. What are you feeling within your body? One more breath. And then bring your hands to the tops of the shins, halfway lift, so you lengthen your spine from the base of the spine all the way to the crown of the head, one long line. On your next exhale, fold a little bit deeper into your fold. Whenever you're ready, inhale and start to roll your way up really slowly. This is going to be a really slow movement until you get up to standing, and your head is the last thing to make it up. Roll your shoulders up, back, and down a couple of times. Relax through that upper body. Take a big breath in and a long breath out. On your next inhale, bring your arms all the way up overhead with a big sweeping motion. And on your exhale, bend your knees, hinge from the hips, and drop back into your forward fold. Good. Hands find your shins, halfway lift. As you exhale, fold a little deeper, plant your palms, and we're going to step our way back into plank position. Your knees can stay up if you feel strong. Your knees can come down if you feel strong too. There's no right or wrong way for your plank. I'll stay with knees down for beginner friendly. Keep a nice strong core, pushing into the mat, hands are right under your shoulders. Take another big deep breath. We're warming up through that center of the body. And whenever you're ready, bend your elbows and come down to the ground. Good. Your elbows are pulled back. You're going to lift your head and your chest for a little baby cobra. Big breath in. As you exhale, release and relax. We're going to do that 2 more times. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release. Last one. Inhale, halfway lift, baby cobra. Elbows are pulled back. Pelvis is nice and grounded. And whenever you're ready, you start to release. You're going to push through the palms, tuck your toes. You can lift in one long line to your plank, or let your knees come down for your plank again. Whenever you're ready, shift your hips up and back for your downward facing dog. Pushing evenly through the palms, really stable through the fingertips, and start to pedal your feet out again here too. Hips come up and back. Really great job. We're going to look in between our hands. We're going to step our way forward once again to your forward fold. Go as slow as you need to. There's no rush. Inhale, find a halfway lift when you arrive. And exhale, fold a little deeper. Yoga blocks, books, or anything are welcome here if you need to. We're gonna step our left foot back and release our left knee down to the ground for a low lunge. Go ahead and lift your upper body over your lower body and bring your hands onto the tops of the right thigh. You're gonna start to push your weight forward so that the left front of the hip, the left hip flexor starts to open up. Remember to focus on your breathing when your mind drifts off. So this one is called low lunge. Low lunge is a fantastic way to open up the hips, again, specifically if you've been sitting open. So as you're here, maybe with each exhale, you start to shift a little bit further forward or staying right where you're at. A couple of cues that go along with low lunge is driving your left knee into the ground as your left hip shifts forward so that the entire front of the left leg is nice and engaged. You can stay here, or you can bring your arms up overhead for a full low lunge. Wherever you may be, take 3 more breaths. You're always more than welcome to also hold on to a chair, to a desk, anything that's around you for stability if you need. Take 1 more big deep breath into the belly. And as you exhale, bring your hands to frame your front foot. You're gonna lift your back knee and take a really wide step forward. Both feet meet at the top of the mat. Knees are slightly bent, folding into the fold. Hands come onto the shin, halfway lift, lengthen the spine. As you exhale, fold forward. Plant your palms either on blocks or on the ground. You're gonna step your right foot back and release your right knee down for the same thing on the other side, low lunge. Hands comes onto the tops of the left thigh, on the top of the left thigh, excuse me. We're here for about 5-6 breaths, same concept. You're driving your right knee down as your right hip shifts forward. You can stay here, you can bring your arms up overhead. You can stay nice and tall, or you can start to shift your way forward heavily. There's so many variations of the same low lunge, and just adapt it to what feels good within your body. You don't have to look or feel like anyone else. Take about 3 more breaths, feeling the rise and fall of the belly. You're letting your hip open up naturally, and you're trying to just find the sensations that feel good. Good, 1 more big deep breath. And then go ahead and frame your front foot with your hands, lift your back knee, and you're gonna take a wide step to the top of the mat. Really good job. Hands come onto the shin, halfway lift again, lengthen the spine. And as you exhale, fold forward. Good. Roll your way up to standing super slow. Again, the slowest that you can until your head makes it up last. Arms come up overhead with you with a big deep inhale. You're gonna shift your way to the right. So I think I'm opposite of you guys on the screen. Go ahead and shift yourself to the right. Your feet are planted right under your hips, and your hips are starting to shift over to the left. This is a huge side bend to bring some more movement and some expansion into the side bodies. So see if you can feel the stretch, maybe from the hips all the way into the shoulder and into the arm. Take another big deep breath, trying to find a little bit more space within the rib cage. Good. Start to move your way through the center. Same thing on the other side. Start to lean to the left, your hips come to the right. Continue to focus on the inhales and exhales. See if you can shift the weight evenly through both feet, not really drifting onto either side. A lot of space opening up on the right side. Big deep breath in. Long breath out. Good. Go ahead and move through the center, hinge from the hips, and drop into your forward fold once again. We'll hang out here for a little bit longer so you can really feel the benefits of your fold. Bend your knees, reach for opposite elbows, or you can always place your hands on the block or something in front of you if you need assistance. Upper body is super heavy over the lower body. And you start to drop in a little bit more to see how that low back is feeling, how your hamstrings are feeling. Really important throughout your yoga practice to always be checking in. There's a lot of body parts that sometimes we feel stress or tension builds up in. The key to your yoga practice is noticing that so you can breathe into it. The power of the mind and breath is really, really powerful. Take one more big deep breath here. Exhale it all out. Plant your palms. We're going to step our way back into that plank position. So step both feet back, your knees up or knees down again, however you'd like. Good. Hold that strong core, push away from the mat. And then go ahead and bring your knees under your hips, hands under your shoulders for your tabletop. We're going to take cat-cow once again, so you can feel the difference, ever so slight, but the difference within your body. Inhale, drop the belly, look forward, eye gaze lifts. And as you exhale, round everything over. Good. Continue to move. Take about 5 rounds. 1 breath, 1 movement. And as you're in your cat-cow for the second time, even though we did just some slight stretches, can you notice any differences? Do your hips feel any different? Your upper body, your low back? Find anywhere in the body as a reference point. Last 2 here, inhale and exhale. Really, really great job. All right, one of my favorites, this isn't necessarily a yoga pose, but this is a yoga flow. So hands come in front of you, you separate your hands a little bit wider, we're gonna take hip circles. Everyone loves this one. Go ahead and drop your hips down, back and around. So this one is specifically good for, of course, your hips, but notice that your shoulders are also getting involved, your spine, your upper back. So this is just a nice way to bring some mobility into your day. You'll take about 5 big sweeps in one direction. And then we'll go ahead and reverse them whenever you feel ready. So big circles, small circles, whatever your body's calling for. Continue to take your time, breathing, noticing. Really great job. On your last and final one, go ahead and drop your hips down and back for that child pose again. Heart space comes forward, down near to the ground. Either your chin is down or your forehead. If your forehead is down, something that's pretty cool about child pose, that you can start rocking your head side to side. And there's a lot of pressure points that happen within the forehead that'll help you start relaxing even more. So gently rocking side to side, starting to feel a little bit more relaxed. Really great job, Lou. Start to move your way through the center. We're going to take our final pose laying down. So go ahead and cross your ankles, take a seat onto the mat. Last pose will be a supine twist, so that's a laying down twist. We're going to go ahead and roll our way down on our backs, being really gentle, and bring your knees into your chest when you arrive. If this is not possible, that's completely fine. Just bend at your knees and stay low to the ground. For those of you who have knees into your chest, you can rock side to side here to feel that lower back, maybe even getting a massage from the ground beneath you. Take a few more breaths, staying in the present moment. All right, so this is a great one you can do before bed. You're going to go ahead and drop both knees and ankles over to the left and extend your right arm out into a T. So your entire spine is rotating. So knees over to the left, arm out to the right. And now breathe and feel that stretch maybe in the low back, into the upper back. And see if you can use your exhales to release your right shoulder a little closer to the ground. This is a twist. So twists are intended for mainly detoxing the body and just getting rid of things that aren't really useful within the body. So this supine twist you can easily do as you're laying down before bed. And as you take maybe 3, 4, 5 big deep breaths, your nervous system starts to respond so you can sleep a little bit better. So try this one before bed and you'll notice the difference. Take about 1 more breath here. Great job. And then start to roll your way through the center, bring both knees into the chest, rock side to side if that feels good. And then for your final one, go ahead and drop your knees and ankles to the right now. Extend your left arm out into a T and let your eye gaze follow that left palm. Breathe into that deep part of the belly and start to feel a little bit more relaxed with each exhale. Take about one more big deep inhale. And on your exhale, move through the center. Incredible job. Go ahead and extend your legs out long. Your arms come by your side, and this is your final resting pose, your final Shavasana. Shavasana is intended for relaxation, to just let the entire yoga practice kind of wash over the body. So as you relax and release into the ground beneath you, there's no need to control the breath at this point. You're just simply observing and noticing if you feel any differences within the body than when you started. So a really nice way to wrap up your practice and allow yourself to have a minute of peace and relaxation. Notice if it's a little bit difficult to sit still or lay still, that's completely fine. Be kind to your mind, be kind within your own thoughts to yourself. And just know that the more that you practice, the more that you get into your yoga practice, the easier it gets each time. So as you're here, take your final 3 big deep breaths, inhaling and exhaling. Again, making them the 3 longest breaths of your day. Good, last one. Amazing job. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. Reach your arms up overhead. Bring your feet together. Take a really full, long body stretch. And then we will roll onto either side for our fetal position, bringing your knees close to your chest before we sit up nice and tall for our final seated position. Bring your hands to your heart center. Gently bow your head to seal your practice. Thank you so much for letting me guide you today. I hope you learned a thing or two about yoga, and I hope this inspired you to be able to take a little bit more of yoga in your daily lives. The light within me recognizes and promotes the light within each and every one of you today. Namaste. Thank you so much for being here. I'm really proud of all of you who showed up. I hope that this inspired you a little bit more to get into your yoga practice. If you need any help, go ahead and contact Well at Humana, and we can provide more offerings and more things to help you out in your yoga journey. Have a great rest of your day, you all.